Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining me because today we're diving into a topic that is fundamentally reshaping how organizations manage their absolute most valuable asset, their people. We're exploring the incredible intersection of human resources and artificial intelligence, and we're specifically zeroing in on workforce planning and lifecycle analytics. For the longest time, HR has really just been viewed as an administrative function. But as we're going to see today, AI is stepping in and completely transforming workforce planning into a highly strategic, totally measurable project lifecycle. If you want to understand how top-tier organizations are managing their talent right now, well, you are in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the shift from reactive to proactive HR. Second, forecasting future talent needs. Third, the panoramic employee journey. Fourth, synchronizing cross-functional strategies. And finally, testing strategies with AI. Section 1, reactive to proactive HR. To truly appreciate where the future of HR is headed, we actually have to take a step back and understand the fundamental flaws of the past. So let me ask you a direct question, and I want you to really think about how this plays out in your own organization. Is your workforce planning proactive or is it reactive? Be honest, because the core problem traditional HR faces today is that it operates almost entirely in a reactive state. A key manager leaves and suddenly there's a massive scramble to fill the role, or maybe a new product launches and everyone realizes, wait, we don't have enough trained staff to actually support this. It's just a constant, exhausting state of putting out fires. So what we're looking at now is a massive paradigm shift. Let's just compare the two. On one hand, you have traditional HR. It's reactive. It relies on fragmented data that's scattered across a dozen different systems, and it is heavily focused on short-term needs. But then contrast that with AI-driven HR. This new approach is proactive. It's holistic. It's perfectly aligned with the broader organizational strategy. And honestly, the most important part, it turns workforce planning into a highly structured project with actual measurable outcomes. Instead of just frantically reacting to resignations, AI steps up as the ultimate strategic project manager, setting the stage for real long-term stability.
Section 2, forecasting future talent needs.
Now, this is where things get really cool, because this is where the organization shifts from merely responding to changes to actively predicting them. AI pulls off this forecasting magic by analyzing a mix of internal and external variables all at once. First, business growth. Where exactly is the company heading? Second, market trends. What's happening out there in the broader industry? And third, attrition patterns. When, and more importantly, why, are people naturally leaving the company? By crunching these three variables simultaneously, AI can accurately forecast your future talent requirements long before they ever turn into a full-blown emergency. And why does this matter? Well, predictive demand modeling anticipates skill shortages, which lets organizations make proactive investments in hiring and training. Just imagine knowing 6 months in advance that your company is going to run short on a very specific set of technical skills. Instead of scrambling, losing productivity, and frankly, overpaying for rushed hires when that shortage finally hits, your HR team has already been executing a targeted training program for your existing staff alongside a strategic hiring push for new talent. It's a total game changer. Section 3, the panoramic employee journey. We are moving far away from viewing employees as just isolated snapshots in time. Instead, we're looking at one continuous timeline. And that brings us to a concept you absolutely need to know: lifecycle analytics. This represents the truly integrative stage of HR. It's the integration of data from the very first moment of recruitment all the way through to an employee's eventual exit. What this does is provide HR leaders with this stunning panoramic view of the employee journey. It takes all that fragmented, messy data from the traditional HR model we talked about earlier, and it weaves it into a single predictive view for leadership. That is what enables truly evidence-based decision-making. Notice how AI-driven project management frameworks take every single touchpoint and unify them. It's one seamless flow. It starts with recruitment, flows right into onboarding, moves through the ongoing cycles of performance and compensation, constantly gauges employee engagement, and finally, carefully maps out succession and exit. By treating this entire lifecycle as one integrated project, HR decisions aren't these isolated, random events anymore. They're interconnected steps in a structured timeline.
Section 4, synchronizing cross-functional strategies. Now, if HR decisions are no longer isolated from each other, it makes sense that they shouldn't be isolated from the rest of the business, right? Those traditional, stubborn corporate silos are finally breaking down through cross-functional orchestration. So think about your HR initiatives on one side. On the other side, you've got finance, operations, and strategic planning. AI acts as the bridge that ensures these two sides are actively synchronized. HR is no longer making plans in a vacuum. Its initiatives are now directly tied to the financial realities, the operational capacities, and the big picture strategic goals of the entire enterprise.
Let's look at a highly practical application of this synchronization to really bring it home. Attrition forecasting links workforce planning directly to your retention strategies. By using AI to forecast who might leave and exactly when, and then synchronizing that data with your operational needs, HR can ensure absolutely seamless continuity in critical roles. You are quite literally guaranteeing that the roles most vital to your company's operations and financial success never, ever sit empty.
Section 5. Testing strategies with AI.
This right here is where AI truly shines. It allows organizations to safely test reality before committing real-world resources. Imagine your executive team is debating a massive organizational change. Maybe it's a sweeping adoption of remote work, or perhaps it's a huge global expansion into a brand new market. Historically, you'd make your best guess, roll out the strategy, and honestly, just pray it works out. Well, not anymore. With AI scenario simulations, HR leaders can test these massive workforce strategies virtually. You can evaluate exactly how global expansion will impact your current talent pool, or test how a shift to remote work might affect operational continuity, all before a single real-world step is taken. You get all of the insight with absolutely zero operational risk. It's incredible. I want you to consider this thought. By orchestrating these elements, AI acts as the strategic project manager of workforce planning. That right there is the core takeaway of our explainer today. AI isn't just a fancy calculator. It's not just a database. It is delivering the foresight, the alignment, and the resilience of a master project manager, pulling together the entire employee lifecycle into one highly integrated, deeply proactive strategy. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. With AI acting as your strategic project manager, is your organization actually ready for the future? We've seen how AI takes fragmented, reactive data and transforms it into a panoramic, predictive view that aligns perfectly with finance and operations. The technology to do this isn't science fiction. It exists right now. The only question left is whether you are ready to embrace it and totally transform your workforce planning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I highly encourage you to go explore how these AI frameworks can be applied in your own world.